Hello everyone. I'd like to start out by saying I want to apologize for not posting any content last week. Basically what happened is the fact of life came up. I had things I needed to take care of. I had been working on a script that I had planned on getting out. I had a version of it, but I wasn't happy with it. I was tweaking it, and when the life things came up, it got put to the side. I didn't have a chance to record it, and at the point that I was working on it, trying to finish it up, I was hoping to late Friday night, early Saturday morning, record it and put it out, and didn't exactly happen. So again, I just want to say sorry about that. Now, in this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article from Bloomberg Quint. It was published on May 3rd. It was updated on May 5th. And there's this theme going on right now. The left is freaking out, and they're afraid that they're going to lose the 2018 midterms. And it's not like they're thinking they're going to lose by a little. They're thinking they're going to lose by a lot. And you can tell by the theme right now, because if you look at the current news, there's a lot about, Trump with the NRA, Trump anti-gun. I'm going to be doing a couple other videos. Next couple are probably going to be on the whole NRA and gun thing and the propaganda that they're doing. But see, the left needs a Supreme Court, and right now, to put things mildly, you got Kennedy here, who's looking like he's up for retirement. You got, Ginsburg, who I think the left is going to end up getting, like, the Disney animatronic people to, like, prop her up and shit. Because, I mean, she can't even stay conscious, through the whole process of her job. She passes out on the bench. So they're freaking out that they're going to lose control of a lot of things in the larger picture. Whether, like when it comes to Congress, the Supreme Court, everything else. Because right now, they're barely holding on to a little bit of control in the Supreme Court. And they don't want to have a situation where they're going to be getting told no for once. They really don't want that. So, Greg Storr here, he wrote the article, and let's get into this fear-mongering piece of his, because he's trying to trigger the left with this. He's trying to scare them so that they can rile them up, so that they can hopefully, pull their asses out, out of the fire, and maybe gain some seats, because this might actually be the first midterm in God only knows how long for an election where they actually don't gain seats, the party out of power. So we'll find out. But yeah, they're a little freaked out about possibly having the Supreme Court become constitutional, like more constitutional, as opposed to feels over reals. So let's get into this article here that Greg wrote. After 30 years of pivotal decisions on the U.S. Supreme Court, Justice Anthony Kennedy is about to make his biggest one yet. For the second straight year, Kennedy, 81, is the focus of retirement speculation as the court approaches the late June end of its term. See, everyone's afraid that he's going to, at least on the left, say, yeah, I'm retiring. Because right now it would not be good for them if he did choose to retire at this point. A retirement by the court's swing justice would give President Donald Trump his second Supreme Court vacancy to fill before a Republicans' Senate majority goes on to the November election ballot. It would also drop a political bomb into what is already one of the country's most divisive eras since the Civil War. Now, the funny thing is here, is Kennedy is a Republican, but they call him a swing vote, but yeah, he's kind of neoconservative Republican. He's a rhino Republican, but he kind of leans Republican. And the thing is he's Republican enough that he might actually do what they're afraid of, which is decide to retire. And if he does, it'll be before the midterm elections. That happens. We have a Republican majority in both houses of Congress. And whoever Trump nominates most likely is going to get approved, and Congress is going to, say, yep, fine, okay, even though the left is going to put up their stink, and there's going to be a replacement for him, and it'll probably be someone who's, more constitutional, and that's going to fuck him a little bit more. So, what do they got to do? You got Greg here putting fear into people, going, oh, this is the most divisive era since the Civil War. Well, no, that is a complete fear-mongering crock of shit. If you want to actually look at where we're at in a historical comparison, we're talking, end of Jim Crow, beginning 1960s civil rights movement era, race relations. And the reason why we are there is because of the left, is because of the cultural Marxist identity politics, where you use this oppression Olympics, like, bullshit scale, okay, where you take everything that you can identify a person with and you put, victimhood points on those things, and you give them standing according to those victimhood points. When you do that, you piss off other people that, oh, I don't know, even on the left with that shit, because you'll have people go, wait a minute. Instead of being like, with the whites going, oh yeah, okay, we'll bow down, we'll fucking be, little submissive bitches. And they say, wait one fucking minute, which is one reason why we have the alt-right at this point. Because you pulled out the identity politics and you told whites, especially men, especially straight men, okay, to just shut the fuck up and sit there. You created that. You sent us back to the 1960s, not the Civil War, you fear-mongering fuckwit. So don't even try to play it like that, you dishonest shit. Though he has given no public indication he plans to depart, advocates on both sides are wondering whether Kennedy's age and Republican roots could lead him to do so. It could trigger a rancorous confirmation battle and open the court to a sharp and probably enduring turn to the right. I love this. A turn to the right. No. A turn more to constitutionalism with the fact of the court itself. Because if you look, Gorsuch, constitutionalist. And that freaking scares the left, because the only way they can get the shit that they want to get, on the note of speech restrictions and restrictions on this, the ownership of firearms and all those types of things, is to have a court that is feels over reals, that isn't constitutionalist. But we're going to say it's going to be a sharp turn to the right. Dishonesty. A Trump-appointed successor could create the 5-member majority that legal conservatives have envisioned for decades. The reconstituted court could overturn long-standing precedents, including the 1973 Roe v. Wade abortion rights ruling. How far it goes would probably depend on Chief Justice John Roberts, who sometimes tempers his conservative leanings to try to protect the court's institutional standing. No, okay. This is completely dishonest here. Because, first off, Greg, if you ever knew anything, once something goes to the Supreme Court, that's it. They've decided on it. End all be all, motherfucker. They can't, no matter how much pro-life, because it is about protecting life, okay, promoting life, okay, no matter how much people from that group would like to overturn Roe v. Wade. They can't. The court can't do it. It don't work how you're trying to claim. And Chief Justice Roberts doesn't sometimes temper his conservative leanings. He throws the idea of constitutional out the window and sides with you fuckwits on the left, like Ginsburg and you know, all your little fucking you know, your little bitches in the Supreme Court. Let's be honest about that. He cucks. Whether Kennedy will retire is something known to, at most, a small handful of people. Former law clerks say they can only speculate, questioning even whether the justice himself knows what he will do. Well, he's 81. He doesn't have to retire. He can keep on working. Probably be in your best interest. So you'd probably be like wanting to promote the fact that he stays in, because if he does retire, you guys are going to be fucked. And that's why you wrote this article. Because you're trying to put fear in the left. What faint signals Kennedy has sent point towards at least another year on the bench. He has hired his law clerks for the Supreme Court's next term, and as usual, not will spent. Who the this is fucking Bloomberg. Proofread, motherfuckers. I'm sorry, I gotta start that sentence over because that that improper use of past tense. Oh, God. He has hired his law clerks for the Supreme Court's next term and, as usual, will spend July teaching a law school course in Salzburg, Austria. From the bench, he has been as engaged as ever. I thought he looked great during the arguments, said lawyer Carter Phillips, who has argued more than 75 cases before the court, including an antitrust matter involving China on April 24th. So I don't see anything specific as a health issue that would cause him to walk away. Now, I love this. They are literally taking a lawyer who's argued in front of the court a guy who studied law, not medicine, and they're asking him about the health of Justice Kennedy. Are you this desperate to fucking, like, freak people out and go, oh, we need to keep him in another year, oh, Jesus Christ. This is hilarious. Because you're putting fear in people, but then you're going, oh, well, he's going to work another year, and then you go and you ask a lawyer their medical opinion on the justice. This is like when you shitbrick morons. Head shrinks, which usually when you get into sociology, well, more so psychology and psychiatry, but sociology to an extent. The reason why you get into those things, in most cases, is because you're fucked in the head and you're trying to figure out yourself. And you got these fucked in the head people, okay, and you're asking them what they thought of the mental state of Trump. And it's funny when you got a crazy fuck giving their opinion on someone who they've never talked to, who they've never interacted with. This guy had some interaction with the chief, not the Chief Justice, why did I say that? With Justice Kennedy. But it's timed. They've got so much time to present their case, they answer some questions, and that's about it. And yet you're asking them about Kennedy's health. Okay. Nor has Kennedy shown any obvious signs of slowing down on his opinion writing. Although he has issued only one majority opinion this term, a decision that curbed human rights lawsuits, it was an unusually complicated ruling that required him to cobble together a majority out of a splintered court. So, basically, He basically wrote one opinion, but yet he isn't slowing down. Holy crap! You literally just say, oh, he isn't slowing down, but then you say he only wrote one opinion. That's slowing down. Kennedy's most significant opinions are probably yet to come. He could cast the deciding vote in many of the court's biggest remaining cases, including clashes over Trump's travel ban, partisan gerrymandering, and speech rights of people who oppose gay marriage. Excuse me, but setting up, first off, okay, the travel ban is constitutional. That scares the shit out of you. This partisan gerrymandering crap, the Democrats rigged voting districts conveniently so that they had shit tons of cemeteries to have dead people vote. Now, the last part is me just joking there. But they did so much gerrymandering over the decades. It's not even funny. And when Republicans go, wait a minute, this should be more like this because, hey, you guys fucked it up. Oh, no, that's gerrymandering. Oh, no, that because you're going to make things more fair. No, that's gerrymandering. Because they've rigged the shit. And now that people are trying to set it back the way it should be. They're trying to paint this as a different situation than what it is. And this whole thing of speech rights, of people who oppose gay marriage, the First Amendment, you fucking asshole. You leftist fuck writing this, Greg. Alright? Is immutable. Okay? As long as you're not doing a call to action, because a call to action is not free speech, okay? Because it's not speech. It's a means of bringing about action. If they say something and it's free speech, it's free speech. Fuck the people who are all upset about their feelings being hurt in regards to gay marriage. If there are people that are against it, there are people that are against it, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it. Because you can't force people to change their opinions, and you can't force them to not voice their opinions in a society where you have an inalienable right, such as free speech. You can wish, but you know what? In the end, you just got to go fuck yourself. Because that's how it is. But you don't want that. Kennedy has been the court's pivot point since 2006. He sided with the court's conservative wing to loosen campaign finance rules in the Citizen United case and to invalidate a core part of the Voting Rights Act. He joined with the liberals to legalize gay marriage and, for the most part, has backed abortion access. Yeah, so what he did on that note, which I said earlier, like he's going to fuck the Constitution, is they violated states' rights. They violated a constitutional amendment to make gay marriage legal. Okay? Because you can make it, if they had done it, say, through federal legislation, they'd done it through constitutional amendment, that would be one thing. But to just say, oh, gay marriage is legal, fuck the 10th Amendment, fuck all you all, okay, is complete bullshit, which is what the left wants. Because he will do shit like that. So they want him in. Because he'll wipe his ass with the Constitution when it suits his ideology, either caving to the left or through his ideology or whatever the case may be. And they know that. Justice Kennedy is the most influential justice in the history of the Supreme Court and is probably not even... What? This is complete bullshit. It's such bullshit that I couldn't read it straight through. Justice Kennedy is the most influential justice in the history of the Supreme Court, and it's probably not even close, said Michael Klarman, who teaches constitutional history at Harvard Law School. It's almost hard to think of areas where the court divides 5-4, and Justice Kennedy is not the deciding vote. If you go back through the history of the court, there have been more influential judges. The whole reason why they want to claim he's so influential is because Kennedy is sitting there with a fence pole up his ass in the middle, and he just decides to fucking flip a coin sometimes. You know, he's got his feet leaning over on the right side of the fence, but sometimes he'll just flip a fucking coin and say, yeah, fuck you guys, fuck the Constitution, and he just decides to rule whatever way makes his feelings feel good. So, hey, but whatever. Kennedy himself succeeded a swing voter on the court in 1988 when the Senate confirmed him to take the seat of Justice Lewis Powell. The appointment came only after President Ronald Reagan's controversial first nominee, Robert Bork, was rejected by the Senate, and his second nominee, Douglas Ginsburg, stepped aside over reports of past marijuana use. Yeah, because heaven forbid we put a judge in, okay? Because Robert Bork wasn't, I mean, I was a kid, but I remember, he really wasn't that bad, okay? Douglas Ginsburg really wasn't that bad, and heaven forbid, you know, you put a Supreme Court justice in that's smoked a little, you know, a little of the fucking marijuana, smoked a little weed, and can understand that it really isn't that dangerous, and could also understand the fact that, hey, you can't exactly, you know, put a prohibition against it, because you kind of had to do that with an actual prohibition through constitutional amendment in regards to alcohol. That's probably, you know, would have been a good thing. But hey, back then, the left and the right were against pot all around. A Trump nomination to fill the Kennedy seat could lead to a confirmation fight as rancorous as the one over Bork. Wow, this guy likes to reuse words. Dude, that's what a fucking thesaurus is for. But unlike with Bork, Republicans control the Senate 51-49 and can confirm a nominee without any Democratic support. Yeah, fuck you. You don't like that. Democrats are trying to take control of the Senate in November, though they face a tough fight. No, they're fucked. They've alienated and pissed off so many people at this point that they are fucked up the ass without any Vaseline, okay, with no reach around, and they're just grabbing on for dear life, hoping that it's over soon. Potential High Court nominees would include Washington-based Federal Appeals Court Judge Brett Kavanaugh, a former Kennedy clerk with close ties to the justice. Trump could also consider 3 federal judges he interviewed before selecting Neil Gorsuch to fill an earlier vacancy: William Pryor of Alabama, Thomas Hardiman of Pennsylvania, and Emil Tabar of Kentucky. Supreme Court justices typically reveal retirement plans as the court nears the end of its term. The most recent justice to step down, John Paul Stevens, made his announcement on April 9, 2010, the previous year. Justice David Souter revealed his plans publicly on May 1st. Other justices include Sandra Day O'Connor in 2005, Thurgood Marshall in 1991, and Powell in 1987, waited until the court had issued its final opinions in late June. Conservative groups are already making plans to back any Trump nominee. The Judicial Crisis Network, which spent $7 million on Gorsuch's nomination, is preparing a similar campaign on behalf of the next nominee. That's likely to include television ads targeting wavering senators, including Democrats seeking re-election in Trump-friendly states. Yeah, you're fucking scared. This is what's funny. Because you're trying to portray this here as like, well, he could fuck us in that last minute. He could just decide to retire. But look, these other ones, they let us know. You can't make up your mind, but you're trying to scare the left with this. This is so fucked up. Because you say one thing, then you say another. Then you say again, on a different note, one thing, then another. The whole theme through this, though, is putting the fear of a constitutionalist role. You're trying to portray it as far right. Taking up the next seat in the Supreme Court here. You're trying to play that up as like this major, scary, freaky, fear of God if they believe in God, because I'm sure a lot of them are atheists on the left that you're trying to target here with this. But you're trying to put the fear of God into them. But you're waffling. It's so fucked up. Wow. And the thing is you didn't get what you wanted. Now you're all upset. I understand that, failure, defeat, basically not getting what you want. When you're a member of the participation trophy generation, is a bitter pill to swallow. But what can you do? Except deal. You people haven't. It's been over a year and you people are still freaking out like fucking spurging retards. We basically know it is always our job to be ready for a vacancy, said the group's general counsel, Carrie Servino. She pointed to a dramatic ratcheting up of the partisan opposition to Trump's lower court nominees. Yes! See, you're putting focus on this. But no one is putting really any attention on the lower court nominees that are getting fucking, fought tooth and nail by Democrats. Because the thing is, you don't want to freak people out that, hey, Trump's going to actually be taking, back courts to the fact of being constitutional even on the lower level as well. Maybe if you did that, you'd have more fear going. Maybe you could get more people out to vote by adding that into the fear-mongering. Liberals are hoping Kennedy will stay, and in some cases practically begging him. Oh, they're more than begging him. They're like offering to, suck his cock and tickle his nuts with their tongue. Okay, just for him to stay. Please don't go, the New York Times said in an April 28th editorial. Yeah, these are the same fucking assholes who just had an opinion article wishing Karl Marx a happy fucking birthday. Oh, shit. Elizabeth Widger, president of the Progressive Constitutional Accountability Center, said that staying would be the best way for Kennedy to protect his accomplishments on the court. Okay, all right. You cannot be progressive and be a constitutional accountability center. It don't work like that. Oh, God. And he's gone against the Constitution. So how can you be a constitutional accountability center when he's actually ruled against the 10th Amendment? Ha! Holy crap. Kennedy is the best steward of his own legacy, Widger said. I believe that Kennedy values the court as an institution as much as the Chief Justice does, and therefore will be loath to hand off his legacy and the role of the court to this president. Ha ha ha! You Trump-triggered fucking bitch. He's a deep state neocon that will fucking swing his dick and vote, okay, wherever the wind blows. So shut the fuck up. I mean, I really shouldn't say deep state, but I mean, he doesn't. Alright. I mean, well, that was kind of deep statey to go along with Obama's fucking wish on the note of gay marriage and, well, the Democratic left, okay? Because they were looking for any way to do it. And if you can't look at that and go, this violates the 10th Amendment, and be honest about it, you're kind of deep stating. I mean, that's where I got that, that's where this comes from. Because it's pretty cut and dry on the 10th Amendment. And you're supposed to be, the steward of the Constitution. You should know it. But, yeah. I mean, this is funny. This is how bad they're freaking out. Oh, well, he wouldn't want to hand his legacy over to Trump. Bitch, please. Once something is ruled by the Supreme Court, they can't just decide to change it on a different day. That's not how it works. So his legacy is safe. So, I mean, this is ridiculous. This just goes to show at what point the left is at. They're freaking out about the midterms. They're freaking out about their whole mass, shooting bullshit narrative, and and you would think, we should just get more kids to watch Dukes of Hazzard, because that's taught you, and I love the meme for this. It taught me as a kid, and it taught a lot of other people, growing up that were kids when I was, that you never trust a hog. Okay? They're losing on that narrative. They're losing everywhere. And they're literally trying to rile up what base they have right now. And they don't understand that they keep pushing things, trying to do that, trying to guilt people to side with them, whatever the case may be. And in doing so, they don't get that they're just going to keep losing ground. I mean, they're doubling down, they're tripling down, they're quadrupling down, they're quintupling down on the same exact fucking shit. Going, oh, well, it worked the first time. Well, it kind of worked the second time. Well, it sort of worked the third time. Oh, it'll work the fourth and the fifth and the sixth. And they just keep freaking going on that. Treading the same shit. They're just treading water, pushing the same shit. And that's not going to get them far. Which is probably a good thing. But anyway, I've more than covered this well enough, so I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.